Guys, how's it going out there? Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. Little bass modulator type amp. We're going to do a video on here. Single tube. I haven't had the covers off of it. It could be an 8417 in there. Not really sure, but neat little box. I think I've done some videos on these in the past, similar. Some people say that this is a mini scout. Some people say that it's a lark. Some people just different names for them. But you know, very common back in the day, little 1-tube modulator. Sideband switch is no good on it, just rocks back and forth. Standby switch works. And of course, the power on and off switch works. Somebody's put a newer power cord on it. That's not the stock power cord. And obviously, it looks like somebody's probably painted it at one time or another. Runs on 110 volts. We're going to test it with our Uniden 66. It may be for sale. I've got a couple local friends that may be interested in it, so they probably will get first shot. After they see this video, I've got a friend that just bought a set of Brownings, one that talks on a tram, and another buddy of mine that I'm pretty sure told me to be on the look for something like this. It's just got a small little tuner in the back. Take your little flathead screwdriver and tune it. It's probably an input tune. There may be some output tunes on the inside of it, but as far as I know, that's the only one. That's the only one that's visible anyway. So a lot of people adjust that to where you can make it swing, where you can put a high dead key in and get a low carrier. We'll kind of test that out in the video. I'll show you guys what I'm putting into it versus what it's keying out after we test the output of it. Check, audio. Our little indicator light works on the front. A lot of people use those. If they didn't have a watt meter, the brighter that glows, the more in tune basically the amp is. Now we just got it plugged into a little surge protector down here. I don't even have it plugged directly into the wall, so it may even do a little bit more if you plug it directly into the wall. Not that these things are going to draw a lot of current anyway, but again, driving it with our Uniden, more popular would be to run this with a set of Browning, Tram, Cobra 2000, something like that would be right up the alley for this little guy. Let's see how it does. I've got a 250 watt slug in here, 250 watt scale. Matter of fact, we can start out with a 100. That way we've got kind of two different reference points here. So we'll test it with a 100 first. I like to do that anytime we can. That way you guys can see two different slugs if it has a different reading. But let's test it here. Bottom scale. This is average power first. That's about an 8 watt carrier. Hello. 40 watts average. So I think I told a buddy of mine that it would do 50. It'll try to bounce up to 50 initially, but about 40 watts average. And we're putting 10 watts average in. So about, what is that, 4 times what you're putting into it? And then your PEP. Holy guacamole. Get on down with your bad self. Audio. Way over 100 watts PEP. Now, a lot of these little tube-top modulators like this, you'll notice that the ratio of PEP to average is kind of crazy sometimes. Like I've got a Mako 75, and that thing may, if you put a 2057 tube in it, it may only show 75 or 80 watts average, but it'll show like 300 watts PEP. So, some people say it's because they're a little bit on the dirty side. They show that kind of crazy PEP power. But a lot of them are just that way. So let's see how this one does. PEP. Peak power. Radio check, radio check, radio check. Audio. 125, 120 on the PEP side. Now what I want to do next is we're going to see kind of what how it works as far as how much dead key we put in versus how much dead key we get out. I was looking for a small slug over here. I don't know the smallest I have. Okay, looks like a 50 is going to be it. So let's put our 50 in. And all we're looking to do here is check our dead key. I'm going to key the amp up first. Let me turn my mic gain down so we don't have any kind of possible interference here. All right, we're just going to dead key the amp. So we got what, 6 or 7 watts right there with the amp keyed up. Put it on standby and let's see how much our radio's doing. Okay, so there you go. You're putting 4 watts in, 4.5 watts in, and only getting 6.5 watts out. Now, a lot of your true modulators will key less than what you put into them. And we could adjust this little input tune on the back and make this one do that. Where you key 4 watts in and keys 2 watts out. It wouldn't take much adjustment at all. But again, I just tuned it for PEP or peak output. So now, again, we're putting 4 watts in, getting a 6 or 7 watt dead key out. That's still working pretty much as a modulator, except we're not dropping our carrier. But, you know, if we were, you know, if it was working like a true amplifier, you would obviously have, you know, a bigger difference there. You'd, you know, put 4 watts in, you'd be getting like 15 watts out, or 4 watts in, 40 watts out, something like that. But 4 watts in, 6 to 7 watts carrier out. I think this thing would be really sweet with a set of Brownings, trams, and that's not a sales pitch to my local guys. Just an idea out there to somebody that's looking at this and thinking, what could you possibly use it for? And it'll take one of these radios too. You're not going to hurt it with a Uniden 66XL. I know some people say, well, man, you're putting 35 watts PEP into it. Trust me, the PEP power is not going to hurt it. A tram or something with a good hot set of tubes in it is going to do the same average power, give or take, as this radio, and you're going to get a similar performance out of it. So there you guys go. Let me know what you think. Little single tube modulator may come up for sale, may not come up for sale. Nonetheless, there's a video on it regardless of that. So we'll see what happens here. Let me know what you guys think. This was a Hamfest find. Rooster and 10, roostercb.com. See you, bye.